Now, when other people think about humility, they think about the mice under their table.
Yeah.
That's not what I think about. Like, passion is great. Passion is here. Competence is here.
And it's like, yeah, you already have it, but you have to do the work to bring
Yes,
it
you have
out.
to stir it up. I think that the best place to insert ethics back into the corporate world and into businesses is at board level. Like, start at the top. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So when I go wrong, I don't go wrong for long. I'm like, it's just like you need someone to just tap you back and and then you're back on the line and you just keep moving.
Yeah. Yes, logic is important.
Yes.
But we don't live in a black and white
We don't.
world. Like, emotion absolutely
matter. Now, if I translate it into the men speak, all the girls are going to say I'm a pick me.
Say it.
But I don't.
No, we need to hear it.
Hey, people, hey.
Today, we have a woman who is known as the ultimate problem solver. She sits on many boards as an executive director, and she's passionate about teaching the girls about how to win and navigate the corporate settings. She has so much valuable content on TikTok, as in you need to get your notebook out type of valuable. And she's here with us today sharing that content. And I'm so pumped, so excited to speak to her. Today, we have Sharon Oranekwu. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Bimbi.
Thank you so much for coming today. Honestly, I discovered you on TikTok and I was like, I need to speak to her in person. Absolutely. Love your content. Honestly, I think I've said it to you before that you exude such confidence, such excellence. And the fact that you're a young Black woman and Christian, I said that we need to have a conversation.
Thank you very much.
So thank you so much for honouring the invitation.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. The space is beautiful. You're beautiful. You're so kind. And Esther is very nice as well. Esther's very serious, very strict.
Production team.
Once you obey what Esther say, then you're fine. But yeah, that's cool too.
Amazing. How are you doing today anyway?
I'm good. It's raining outside, but I've managed to get in here dry, so God is working.
Yeah, thank God. Because honestly, when I was driving here, it was ridiculous. But
Awful.
It's still very warm as well.
I know, it's disgusting.
Yeah. But okay, let's get straight into it. So for someone who's watching and might not know who you are, give us a brief summary of who you are, what you do, and just, let the people know.
Every time I get this question, I feel like I need to rank my identities and priority, but I'm just a girl, just a happy girl. I'm a sister, daughter, wife, friend, all the bits, baker, cook, chef. I was going to say cooker. Education. I'm chef, I cook, I garden. I love gardening.
Nice.
My garden's flourishing these days, so really happy for her. What else do I do? I'm a worker bee. I work in governance. I sit on a few boards, so I'm a leader in several capacities, which can be exciting, can be exhausting. And yeah, I'm just doing all of it and just fulfilling purpose, really. That's it. Yeah, just chugging along.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about governance. Like, what's your day-to-day like? Especially because you sit on multiple boards.
Yes.
So that's multiple companies, isn't it? So it's like you have multiple, I don't know if I can call it a job, but yeah. So what does a day-to-day look like for you?
I have 3 board meetings a month, 3 a month, 5 a month. And sometimes we have ad hoc when someone does something silly and they're like, hey, we have an ad hoc board meeting. I'm like, oh my gosh, who's done that? And it's just leadership. It's leadership, stewardship, and it's a lot of reading, a lot of policy reviews, a lot of high-level, high-stakes decision-making. One of the boards that I'm a part of is global, so the global ESG leadership board. So very high stakes, very get your head on, be very serious, know what you're doing here. But, you work your way into those things. And every time I get invited to join a board, I'm honored, absolutely honored. This one, for example, the CEO reached out to me, the chair reached out to me, and she said, hey, we'd like to have you on here. And every time that happens, I go to my husband and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm surprised, but he's not surprised. It's like,
he's like, you got it. I know who I married.
What is the shock about?
Yeah.
But yes, governance. I describe as ethical leadership. That's what it's about. That's what it should be about, anyways. And my entire career has been about, how we can bring ethics back into the corporate world.
Okay, that's
because
good.
For so long I feel that the corporate world just goes very much money. Money's good. It's good to be successful. It's good to make money. Please, I tell Christian women this all the time: be successful, be very successful. But when everything becomes about money and then ethics is thrown out of the window, and it's just really awful, and it becomes just such an ugly place to be. And I think that the best place to insert ethics back into the the corporate world and into businesses is at board level. Like, start at the top. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So start at the top, insert ethics up there, and then it will trickle down. Yeah, we should stop holding like the footman accountable for something that the chairman isn't doing. So yeah, that's what drove me in that direction, really.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like you're really, as a Christian woman as well, really well placed. One thing that I'm passionate about is like being a light in the marketplace and being influential. You know, if we're saying, you know, we serve Almighty God who has told us right from wrong, you know, all the wisdom that comes from God, we basically have it because we have access to him. We should absolutely be in places of leadership and then doing ethics on top. Amazing.
We should be in places of leadership 100%. We shouldn't shy away from it. I think that's my thing when I talk to my sisters and I'm talking to the girls around me. I'm just like, don't shy away from leadership. Like, if that is thrust upon you, like, take it and be zealous about it, be excited about it, and do what is needed. Like, be competent. Like, passion is great. Passion is here. Competence is here, in my opinion. Like, be passionate, but be competent as well. Don't shy away from it. It's like, oh my God, you want me to do this? And I think a lot of it is even false humility, really, in my opinion. Because you want to do it, but you're just like, oh my God, what, me? Stop that.
Did you always know that you would fall into this kind of career path?
Naturally, there's a debate on this. You know, are leaders born or made? I say that leaders are born and made. Someone can be born for a leadership position, but you have to make them. It's like the princes are born and they're princes, so they're naturally they have a leadership position, but then they have to go through the training. So I say that I'm a natural born leader, but then I've been trained every step of the way. So I think a lot of people don't feel comfortable saying that, or I don't think I'm a natural born leader. I think from the moment that I started to have some sort of cognitive awareness of myself, wow, you're a human being, maybe like around 3 or 5 years old, I knew that I was a natural born leader. So I think leaders are born and made, and I'm certainly a natural born leader, but then I've been trained every step of the way. I've had people who spoke to me, corrected me, told me when to stop talking, told me when to speak, told me when to sit down, told me when to listen, told me when to read. Like, these things are necessary. Discipline is necessary. Like, people who will tell you you're wrong. This is wrong. Don't do that. I've had my dad, massive influence in my life, my mum, my pastors, my husband. These people, every step of the way, I've had someone who, like, you're helping me along the way. And that does not in any way reduce me as a leader in any way, shape or form. If anything, it's made me so much better.
Absolutely.
And I think that the only people worth following are people who follow others.
Yes.
Those are the only people worth following. Like, don't follow anybody who is a god to themselves. Very dangerous people.
Yeah, I love that. I love what you said about being born and made. And that's one of the reasons this platform exists, because it's like, yes, God has placed something inside of you, but you have to work to get it out. I literally saw Iron Gold or something like that. You know him. He was talking about fruitfulness. And he said that fruitfulness is basically bringing to the outside what God has already placed on the inside. And it's like, yeah, you already have it, but you have to do the work to bring it out.
You have to stir it up.
Exactly. So all the personal development, making sure that you're productive, making sure that you're excellent in all that you do, making sure that you're competent, like you say, so key.
And finding people to listen to.
Yes,
I went through your podcast. I see the views, and I think to myself, I hope people are not just like watching because, oh my God, Fumi looks nice, and my hair looks nice, and that's a nice dress. And I hope they're actually listening, because if you listen to it, all those videos, the compilation of all of those videos, there is no way that you can bet that you won't be at least 1%, just 1%. And that's all you need every day. You need that 1% improvement, and that 1% improvement, or the 0.1% improvement. If you're watching it and you're listening to it, and you're listening to Fumbi speak on her solo podcast and the ones that she brings on guests, and you're watching it, and if you're really listening to it, there is no way that you're not being improved. So I think that people should find people to listen to. Like, find people to listen to. Find people to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And that sounds like such an up thing to say in this generation of me, myself, I, and I am the God of me. But find people to listen to. And every step of the way, something that has boosted my confidence is having people to listen to. So my dad used to say that even when you go wrong, you don't go wrong for long.
Yes.
Because we will all make mistakes. Yeah. But I am so surrounded by advice and counsel that when I go wrong, I don't go wrong for long. I'm like, it's just like you need someone to just tap you back and then you're back on the line and you just keep moving. And it's just perfect. That's how I like my life.
Yeah. Community is definitely really important. And I can see that's had a great effect on your life. So what would you say is maybe like a key lesson that you've learned as a result of the mentorship that you've received that has helped you to get to where you're getting to, where you are now?
Oh, that's good. God first. God first. I think these things can spiral.
Mm.
Like when you started slow and maybe
Yeah.
nobody was watching and everything. And then
Mhm.
before you know it, it's like, oh my God, 1K views on,
Mhm.
on YouTube and there's so many subscribers and people's like, oh my
That's
God, hi
literally
Fruitful, I
what
know
happened,
you.
by the way.
Yeah, literally. And these things can spiral. So if you're not grounded, if you're not sure why you're doing what you're doing, you will find yourself doing all sorts of weird things and saying all sorts of weird things just for the views, just for the clouds, just for the followers. And one thing I was so happy, and I said this to my manager after we spoke, and I said, Fumbi just spoke to me and she said, I don't think you've ever explicitly said that you're a Christian, but I feel very strongly that you're a Christian.
Yep.
And I said, this is just so, I feel so happy. I feel so content today. If nothing great happens for the rest of the day, perfect. It's a good day.
Yeah.
Like, be sure of why you're doing what you're doing and who you're doing it for.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing it for him. Like, it's God's purpose, and he wants you to be elevated so that you can draw people to him.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
everything has to align to that. And then I think just humility. And humility is not to what people think humility is. The humility of, oh, I won't put myself forward for something. I won't put my hand up when I'm good at something. That's not humility. That's something. I don't know what that is, frankly, and I don't know everything, so I don't know what that is. When I think about humility, funny enough, I think about importunity. The word importunity used in the Bible by Jesus when he was talking about the widow who wanted some random thing in the middle of the night. And you want to know what? It wasn't life-threatening. Maybe it was for her, but she wanted like sugar, milk or something to like make bread or something. And she went to her neighbor's house and she was bang, 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 bang. And then he says, do you know what? If the neighbor doesn't open the door because they're like, oh my God, I have such a big heart and wow, I just love to give people milk at midnight. Because of your importunity, that person will open the door. Funny enough, when I think about humility, that's what I think about. Now, when other people think about humility, they think about the mice under their table.
Yeah.
That's not what I think about. I think about humility, the humility to us.
Yes.
To say, I want this. Please give it to me. Please. And it's like someone's like, go away. It's like, no, please give it to me. I've had to ask for things that I'm not even qualified for. And I say, hey, can you give me this opportunity? If you give me this opportunity, this is what I'm going to do. I haven't done this exact thing, but here are some 5 other things I've done that are similar to this. And because I haven't done this exact thing, I would do it for you at a discounted rate. I put myself out there. Oh, hi, me, hey, oh, I want to try it. Can I give it a go? Do it for God and be humble whilst you're doing it. Yeah, and be very daring.
Yeah.
Be very daring. Honestly, if we all lived like the lepers outside that city, the lepers outside the city who said, we're gonna go into the city, and if we die, we'll die trying. If we all lived like those lepers and said, I'm not gonna quit here, I'm gonna go 5 steps forward, and if I'm gonna quit, if it's inevitable that I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna fail, I'd rather fail 5 steps ahead than fail here. I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
And just because they tried, the people in the city heard the sound. It sounds like armies. And so they ran away. Just because they tried.
Yeah.
It lives right free in my head.
Yeah. I love that. The link between humility, like what humility really, really means.
Yeah.
Like it isn't just, oh, I'm just quiet and timid.
Yeah.
No, actually it's being able to say, I want to ask for this and do this. And even if you feel like it's beyond you or whatever, but it's the way to move forward, isn't it?
Odds are someone's going to say no. I promise you, someone's going to say no. You're going to say, please, please, please. And someone's going to say, no, I'm not going to give it to you. Okay.
Yeah, you got to have thick skin.
Yeah. Tomorrow, ask again. Ask someone else. Ask again. And is that servant with the one talent that went, yeah, but you only gave me 1 talent, so that's why I didn't try. Okay. And then do you realize how the response to that wasn't sympathy? Has anybody ever noticed how the response to that wasn't sympathy? Oh wow, that's so true. You're wicked. You're wicked. You're lazy. Get off, mate. And that's actually the right response to that sort of behavior, because you've been given something.
You've done nothing.
You've done nothing with it.
Yeah.
That's boring.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the faith? Did you grow up Christian, or did you like just one day, I don't know, did someone evangelize to you? How did you get into the faith?
Born into it.
Okay.
Parents, pastors, deacon.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
just born inside the institution.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's been in the faith. I think that's been like surrounded by it. But I think me being saved happened when I was 18, 19. And And that's when I understood, oh, right, being born into Christianity and being saved are not the
Two
same thing.
different.
And wow,
Yeah.
what a shock. That's so surprising.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Definitely.
You mean that? Even if my dad is a pastor? Yeah. So surprising. But being saved and like having a personal encounter with Christ, like Jesus is my friend. I like him. I really like him.
Yeah.
And I've had moments to test whether I like him, up, down, and I just rather have him.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have him over all of it. Up, down, failure, disappointment. I just rather have him. He is just so constant. And from his love to his correction to his silence to his voice, all of it, I'd rather be there. I'd rather be there than be anywhere. I think I'm enamored by him, and I'm still understanding him and knowing him more. But I love him. I always say, like, Jesus is my husband. And then he's given me my husband to like take care of. And he's like, hey, here's a friend of mine. Why don't you just take care of him? But like, I am in love with him. And I think that is my faith journey. Just knowing him and being in love with him has really like radicalized how I see the world.
Yeah.
And I see the world from a place of just real love, like really loving people, like truly loving people, not the fake niceties that people do. I don't know why they do it. I'm not a psychologist. But just truly loving people has completely, that's my understanding of being so close to Christ.
Yeah.
He is love, and that's it. So I think that's what happened. That's what happened when I got saved, when I was like around 19, and also loving myself as well. I was just like, yeah, hey.
He really does teach you to love yourself,
just
doesn't
love
he?
yourself.
Yeah.
Like, wow, somebody loves you. Like,
Yeah.
love yourself.
And I think it just does wonders for like your self-esteem.
Yes.
To even be able to be humble, have humility, to be able to have the confidence as well as being humble, to go after the things that you do go for. How would you say then that your faith kind of plays a part in your success with where you are today in work and your career?
I think there's something that happens when you start to see the world, or you try to see the world from Christ's POV, from God's POV. A lot of the things that you understood from church, you have to start like revising it. You have to try and understand it, because I'm going to be very honest with you. Pastors are human beings. Everybody's a human being. Your dad's a human being. Your mom's a human being. So when they teach you things and teach you about God, there's this like one drop of insertion of like personal, like just like
experience.
Personally, I'd rather you did this. So I'm going to teach it to you in a very lean. And this is not to criminalize them or, to demonize them, but that's the truth. They're human beings. And so you have it, it's upon you to actually read the Bible and go, oh, I understand this. I give you an example. I say this very often. I think that's why I'm a very polarizing character. When I say I'm polarizing, people don't believe it. I'm very polarizing. So people are just like, we don't like that girl. Which is fine. Yeah. By the way, which is great actually. So I'll give you an example. For the longest time, I understood the scripture of submission as woman submit to man. But that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says that wives should submit to husbands as they submit to Christ. And I realized that in understanding Christ, I realized that God is entirely too loving to ask all women to submit to all men. Have you seen the people who are outside? God is too loving to ask all women to submit to all men. Like he wouldn't do that. He's saying that the one that you've gone outside and you've picked and you've put in your house, now you have to submit for the cohesion of the operation of what this thing is, marriage. So for the longest time, I didn't know that. I didn't understand that. So when I'd go to school and someone would say something silly, I just, because they're a guy and they're born with a woodpecker, that means that you just have to like submit to them. I don't know you. And then I had to learn to say, hey, don't speak to me that way. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree with you. But before, someone would say something and I would just nod along because, right, so you were born with a woodpecker. That means that everything that you say, I have to say yes and okay to. But that's not true. That's actually not true. And then you're reading the Bible and you're understanding how the women in the Bible are confident and successful in their own right. The 4 daughters of, I'm going to butcher his name, Zehophilhad in Numbers 27. I think I butchered his name. Joshua and Caleb were sharing land, and the girls didn't get land because, as it is their custom, they're not going to get land because you're girls, and also you don't have a father. And they went to them. They were like, "No, this can't work." They went. They prayed about it. This is not fair. There are 4 of us. Where do you want us to live? You want us to live under the bridge? And then the leaders had to go to God and go. And then God said, "Give them their land. You need to open your mouth and talk."
Yeah,
like,
so confident.
Open your mouth and talk. Reading the Bible and actually reading the Bible from God's POV will make women more comfortable, more confident. I can assure you that. If you read the Bible and if you get to know Christ, you will be more confident as a woman. You will be. And it will be such a radical mind shift for you. And you go, "Oh my goodness, am I supposed..." Yes, you're supposed to say, "Hi, I don't think that this thing that's happening here is right. I don't think this is right. I think we should do it this way." And everything comes down to how you say it, by the way. I'm not saying that you should start like cussing and all sorts and everything. Everything comes down to how you say it. But the relationship between knowing Christ and being confident, it's such a straight track. You just sit down and you look at it. It's a straight track. It just tracks from Ruth to Naomi to Esther, all of them. It's just the confidence that comes upon you when you know God.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Those who know their God will be strong. They will do exploits. It's just it tracks. I don't. It's a no-brainer. I think. Yeah,
I love that. That's such an amazing transformation. Thank you for sharing that, because I feel like a lot of listeners will resonate with that, especially being a woman in leadership.
Yeah,
and even just being a woman in the workplace sometimes,
Yes.
especially where the leadership tends to be men.
Yes.
And I think what makes people stand out, like you say, is being able to say, "Oh, actually, I think that's wrong."
Yeah.
And you've dubbed yourself the ultimate problem solver,
am.
which I love. And I love that because I literally did a reel the other day about being more fruitful in the marketplace. And number 1 was be a problem solver. Nobody
Yes.
likes to be around people who are not solving problems.
Yes.
And problem solvers have to speak up and have to say,
Yes.
"Actually, I don't think that will work.
Yes.
Let's try this."
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole confidence thing, really, I can see how you've taken that from scripture and applied that in your life. But how do you balance? Because I know that you also are very big on femininity, being soft, and just being yourself in leadership. Like you don't necessarily have to become masculine or become like a man.
Yes.
Because I've heard that, sometimes ladies in leadership, or depending on the sector that you're working in. So, for example, I work in litigation, which means I'm literally arguing with people all day.
Yes.
Which means sometimes I feel like I do have to be like aggressive, assertive. But what advice would you give to women who are in leadership or are in a place where they feel like they have to be masculine, they have to be assertive? How do they stay in their femininity and still be soft, but still be assertive, confident? Like, how do you strike that balance in the workplace?
I always say I think I've worked in all the big boy sectors. I came from law. I've worked in tech. I've worked in finance. So I've worked in all the big boys. I've worked in all the big boy sector. And the thing I notice consistently is that women, like we try so hard, bless us. Women we're so precious. We try so hard, and it's like, oh my God, I want to fit in, so I have to do this and I have to do that. I think who you are at home, and now if you're a completely different person, if you're like a monster at home, then that's very problematic. That's not for you. Okay, look away. But who you are at home, like the thing that makes you successful at home, where you take your time, you're at peace, like you're calm, you speak clearly. You're speaking clearly, you're pacing yourself, and you have success in your home. You can look around and my relationships are healthy, and just take that. Do it over there. Do it at work. I spent a year. Every time I say I spent a whole year, my mentor's like, people do research for longer than a year. So now I say I spent a year. So it's apparently a whole year. It's like, you're just starting. I spent a year doing research on women who are successful in the workplace versus women who are not successful. I've questioned, inquisitioned, interviewed women from America, the UK, from Africa, from Nigeria, Ghana. And I'm like, what is it? The point where you burnt out, what is the thing that you noticed? And the point where other people burnt out and you didn't, what did you notice? And I started to watch patterns. And that's when I came up with Corp Like a Girl. What is it that you do in your house? The thing that makes you successful at home. So for example, women, we ask for help all the time. All the time. The rate between how often women ask for help versus how often men ask for help, very massive difference. Because women ask women for help and men for help. Men rarely ask women for help and rarely ask men for help. Women are always asking for help. Hey, can you give me a hand with this? Can I ask you about this? Can I ask you a quick question? Can you get that from the top shelf for me? But then something happens the moment once we get to work, we switch off. I can't ask for help here because they're going to think I'm incompetent. If I ask for help here, then everyone's going to think I'm dumb. They're going to say, oh, she's an imposter. They're going to say, So that's one. Two, women are into community. We're into community. You and the girls, you and the girlies. I walked into this room and you're with Esther. You're not here doing it yourself. And like, I'm gonna carry this camera. I'm gonna put it here and I'm gonna mount this. You're not doing that. Women into community, be that from our sisters and our mums. We start off with community. Like the girls are always with the girlie. I was so shocked to find out that statistically, men are more likely to join business groups than women. Isn't that so shocking for you?
Is that because of a lack of women group? There shouldn't be.
No,
There's a lot
there
of
are many women groups.
Yeah,
there are many women groups, which is so funny because the number of women groups are like, we have tons of women groups with small memberships. And then there aren't loads of men groups, but they're filled up.
Do you think that's because women always want to start things off on their own?
Yes.
Yeah, rather than working
together. And so it's like the things that we're doing in our personal lives that's working for us. Like you have your friends and you're having from the moment we're born as girls, we're like, oh my God, sleepover. And then you go to the workplace and it's just like instantly, the moment you see a woman walk past, your competition. Like you go into competition mode. All of these things that work for us in our personal lives. And how do I know it's working? Because we have higher rates of mental health. Like the health of our mental
is better, yeah.
Is better than men in our personal lives. When we talk about suicide rates, we talk about men, unfortunately. But we talk about men. When we talk about mental health and the decline of mental health, we're talking about men in our personal life. So when I measure it, women are successful in their personal lives. We're calm, we're healthy, personal lives. Why can't we do all the things that we are doing that's causing us to be healthy comparative to men? Why can't we do that over here? What is it about the moment we walk through these doors that makes us switch off and go, now I'm going to be a man. I'm going to be a man. And then you wear that big clunky pantsuits, and whoever likes pantsuits, just wear pantsuits. I just like to shade pantsuits from time to time. And you turn into this man and then you're like, oh, I'm going to do... But you're not a man. And that's okay. And that's good. That's good. The polarity is good. It's good for a healthy community. Yeah. It's good for a healthy society. You're not a man. And be the exact woman that you are. And that doesn't mean that we're hyper emotional. The other day I spoke to someone and I was just like, oh yeah, corp like a girl. And she was like, yeah, but bringing emotions to work. I was like, what is that? Where did that come from? Because we have bought into this thing where, oh, women are like hyper emotional, but we're not logical. I think that the right way to logically analyze how something will happen includes the insertion of emotion.
Yeah.
For example, if I say I stepped on Fumbi and I say, well, logically Fumbi should just like move her leg and then we'll just keep going. That's not logical. That is not a logical analysis of how that would turn out.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to be logical, I will say I stepped on Fumbi. Fumbi's going to feel pain. She might wince. If depending on Fumbi's pain tolerance, Fumbi might cry.
Yeah.
But then if I say I am sorry and maybe I try to soothe Fumbi in one way or another,
uses the situation.
That is how to logically measure.
That's so true.
So no one should ever try and tell women like, oh, you're emotional, so you're not. That's not true. That's not true. Stop doing that.
I 100% agree with that. So like I say, I work in litigation. So that's like dealing with disputes a lot. Like I was saying, I sometimes feel like I've got to be aggressive. I've got to be assertive. But actually, I do find myself thinking about the bigger picture and thinking, how would this defendant feel if this was to happen? How would this claimant feel if we made this offer?
Yeah.
And then include that in my strategy.
Yes.
And actually, it makes a big difference. There's been times where we've achieved a settlement and the client, who's a man, has gone, how did you do that? Again, sometimes you just have to appeal to other things that they want.
Yes.
And I think that's so true. Like, yes, logic is important.
Yes.
But we don't live in a black and white
world.
Don't. Like, emotion absolutely
matters. And it's inside of logic. So if you're a woman and people, like, they're saying, oh, you're logical, you're not emotional. I need you to understand that emotions are actually inside logic. To logically analyze how something will pan out. You're dealing with you're not dealing with a table and a cup. Oh, a table bashed into a cup. So yeah, logically, everyone's going to chug along.
Yeah.
But two human beings dealing with each other, if you are analyzing how emotions might play out in a scenario, that's logic. Okay,
it's all about balancing it.
Yeah. And so as women, we translate the things that make us successful and fruitful and flourish at home, and we do that at work. And I'm very confident that we will be successful too. I do it. The women who I look at, the women I follow, they do it. One of my favorite people, and it's so heartbreaking. I only get to see her like 4 times, twice a year sometimes. Mrs. Ibukuna Washika, she says something. She says that her marriage is a massive part of her success. She attributes so much to her marriage, to her family life. Be confident and be proud of the fact that you have a home, you have family. Don't be shy. People are talking about how when I get back to work, I'm going to open this computer or I'm going to keep bashing it. When I get to work, I'm going to go to my garden. and I'm going to see if I can pluck some time and make some food.
Yeah.
And I say that very confidently and happily at work. Also, what are you going to do when you get... A lot of my business partners, they know that at 7 p.m. you can't call me because I'm making food for my husband. Happily so.
Yeah.
Happily so. This is the cut-off time. Don't call me at 7. Don't call me past 7. I'm very happy. And the manager's like, yeah, and I'm gonna call Bill. And when I get at 9 p.m., I'm gonna call Bill at 9. And when I call Bill at 9, I'm not going to call Bill at 9.
Works for them.
Yeah, I'm not going to call Bill at 9. At 9 p.m., I'm probably going to be watching a show. I'm going to sit next to my husband and my friends, and then I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to go to bed.
Balance.
Yes,
Love it.
The thing that's working for you, just do that thing.
Yeah.
Do that thing and be competent. It'll work. It will work. I'm so confident with that. So when we had the conversation the first time, and you were talking about, work and what you like about work, and then we spoke about something, and you were like, you know what, maybe I just need to take a step back and just rest, because sometimes that's it. Like, just babe, like, you just need a rest.
Yeah, I've learned that to just rest and not stop.
Yeah.
Or not quit, rather.
Yes.
Take a rest. Take a
just
breather.
Take a break, babe. Like,
okay.
When you get home, like, don't just sit inside the house. Why don't you just go out to your garden and just sit there for a minute?
Yeah.
Like, it makes a massive difference. And sometimes we're looking for like a spa weekend getaway. Sometimes you just need to sit in your garden for a while. Like, bake. Listen to me. If you're listening to me, try this. And if you're not a baker, that's fine. Bake something so simple. Bake banana bread. Banana bread is very easy. On a Saturday, bake banana bread with a chick flick on in the background. Pick the cheesiest chick flick in the background and just bake in your own world. It's so serene. Like, it's so serene. You're going to be okay. Honestly.
Yeah, I think sometimes, especially like, because a lot of our content is around productivity.
Yes.
We think, work. But how women work is so different to how men work. Especially because of like we have different cycles each week as well. We feel different. And I think it's really important to kind of like work with it. Like, if you're in a phase, I think it's the luteal phase, where you're like feeling tired and all of that, then maybe that's the week you take some annual leave. Maybe that's the week you bake and stuff like that. And there's other weeks where your motivation is high. Ride that wave. Work late nights if you need to, because you'll compensate for it later when you have to like take a rest and things like that. So I think it's really important to kind of go with the
build systems that work with you.
Yeah, build systems. That's it. Not
build systems that work with you.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I say with problem solving. And the formula for solving problems, the first pillar is to build systems. And anybody who is smart will build a system that works with them. How does a system work with my organization? That's what I've done for the last, 10, 8, 9 years. I build systems for organizations. In my life, I build systems that work for me. I build systems that work in my home that weren't working for me's home. In my home, this system works. And then for me and her family and her husband and her children, she's like, oh, this system doesn't work for us, but this one works for us. So you build systems that work for you. And as a woman, the systems that work for men don't work for you sometimes, and that's okay. So build the systems that work for you, and that doesn't make you less productive. It means that your peak of production might look different from a man's, and that's fine. And when you're in your trough of production, that's okay. That's cool. That's all right. Just pace yourself, take your time. Don't go and die for anybody. And then when you're back up, we're back up, baby. Let's keep going. Yeah.
Love that. So let's talk about how to get noticed at work. So I've obviously binged your content and I've seen that you've used the donkey and pony analogy. Please explain it to the people, because I love it. And I've seen that you've actually gone like into further depth with it. So give us a brief description of like what the difference is, and then we'll go into it further.
When I thought about what to explain, how to depict it to them, I thought, oh my God, what is it that comes easily to me? And I was actually born in northern Nigeria, and there's something that I noticed all the time. There would be overloaded donkeys who looked so sad and so poorly and so sick, and they'd be overloaded, and they essentially just like work animals. Like, that's it. No one's like thinking about, oh, I wonder, I'm going to take my donkey to the vet. Like, I can't remember the last time someone was like, I'm going to take my donkey to the vet. And then fast forward, growing up here, we moved here when I was around 10 years old. And then I got into horse riding when I was around like 15, 16. And I realized the way that show ponies are treated.
Different.
Oh my God. If they have the smallest stub in their hoof, the whole place, the entire, stop. Wow. Now, what is wrong with her? Why does she look like that? What's going on over there? Let me see. Let's have a look. They braid their hair. It's an animal. Their hair is getting braided. There is a difference between being a donkey and being a show pony. And it translates exactly into the corporate world. There are people who are just workhorses. Like, you're just there to do the work. And nobody has placed that label on you. It's rather how you behave. Everything that you're doing is communicating to everybody else where you fall in. Now, the donkey is overworked, overwhelmed, overloaded, and underpaid, and overlooked. But the donkey's doing a chunk of work, a ton of the work. And now the show pony, and the show pony people tend to be jealous of. But don't be jealous of the show pony. The show pony people are jealous of because they're favorited and they're the star and they're spotlighted. And when they're thinking of going to New Zealand for a work conference, and it's like, oh, the board's going to meet in New Zealand and they want someone at every level. And we're thinking, hey, Fumbi, would you mind going? The day that Fumbi is asked to go to New Zealand, that's not the day that everybody else hears about it. Everybody else hears about the New Zealand trip 2 weeks later. That's when you hear about it. When you're hearing about things, that's not when it was decided. The moment it came up, hey, the board's meeting in New Zealand, they would like to meet some of the team. Everybody's thinking about someone immediately. There is someone that pops into someone's head. That's the show pony. The person who can talk. The person who can present. The person who can hold a conversation. The person who can connect with people. The person who is going to be the face of the work trip. The person who's going to be the face of the company. And we have a campaign in October, and we're talking about how women are thriving in our company. And let's ask Fumbi. And you know what? The day that it gets thrown into everybody else is probably because Fumbi said no. That she's not available. Yeah. The show pony is so distinct. I promise you that if you said something and you said everyone write a name of the person that you thought about and you collected all the cards, the chances are you would have the same names on the cards.
So why is that? What qualities does that show pony have?
Visibility. The show pony is visible and competent. Let's not throw away competence for visibility. If you're visible but you're not competent, it's going to show this quickly. It's going to be so quick and your downfall is going to be heavy. Okay? But the show pony is visible, number one. And the show pony has this, I call it the trifecta. I call it the trifecta of being a show pony. Socially, mentally, and physically, the show pony is a show pony. Mentally, the show pony reads. So every time she opens her mouth, you know that this person reads. You can hold a conversation. Your vocabulary is immaculate. And you know when to switch your vocabulary. The conversation that you're having with the girls, and we have all of our little slangs that we use in our little like dinner, and we're talking about things. That's not the vocabulary she's using at work. She actually has the good sense to know when to switch. Mentally, she can take it. She can sit down and take criticism, and she's not going to crash out. Crashing out has become a very popular term on TikTok. Like, everybody's talking about crashing out. Crashing out is not good, though. Like, there's nothing fantastic about crashing out. Like, oh my God, I'm going to crash out. Don't do it. Don't crash out, please, for your sake and everybody else's. Don't crash out.
Quiet quitting. What do you think about quiet quitting? I think that's the
when you give up.
The donkeys do that.
Yeah. And then you just give up. But there's something about the show pony, and someone said this to me one time. One time I thought my boss didn't like me, and I just went straight and I asked her, hey, do you like me? And she was so shocked. She said, what? Do you like me? Not as a person, we don't need to be friends, but...
Oh, she actually said that?
No, me. I said that to her.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
I said, no, not as a person, we don't need to be friends, but here at work,
yes.
Am I doing it for you? Like, are you good with me? And if you're not, can you let me know? Because I'd like to improve, because I actually quite like you. I told it to her straight. Her name's Emily. We're still friends till today. Yeah. Once a quarter, we grab coffee. She's way above me. She is around like 50. She's one of those women who are not shy about her age. Yeah, I'm 53 and what? Like, she's like that.
Yeah.
I was just straight with her. And she was like, well, no, let me tell you. And she told me at lunch, she broke it down. This, and this. So
That's like
I tell
humility
people,
again.
yeah. So I tell people, don't quiet quit, except if you actually want to leave. That's one thing. You want to leave versus, well, nobody likes me anyway, so I'm just going to sit here and... If you think someone doesn't like you, if you think your boss doesn't like you, go and ask, are you happy with my work? And if you're not, can you let me know? And hold on, let me grab a notebook. And you sit down and you open your notebook and you go,
yeah.
Then someone says that you want to learn, you actually value my opinion, you want to hear what I think. Yes, I think that's the show pony. And they're so different. And their career trajectory is nothing like the donkeys. And again, I'm not saying you're a donkey, you're not a donkey, you're fearfully made, okay? But it's just an illustration.
It's an analogy, guys.
Their career trajectory is so different. It looks seamless to you, but it's not seamless. It takes a lot of work for you to be a show pony. Like, you're putting your back into it.
Yeah.
Physically, socially, you're going to the pub with your boss. My friend and my manager were ranting about something because they were in the same meeting, and a group of Christians were just like, oh, at work we don't talk to people who are not Christians at work. I was just like, wow, that's really interesting. Who do you talk to at work then? Who do you talk to? And I say, if your team's going to the pub, go to the pub and buy a Coke.
Yeah.
Buy a Coke. buy a Coke, get ice, put lemon inside it tastes nice. Order that.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, oh, I don't want to go drink. Me, on principle, I don't drink around my bosses. On principle. It's just, I just think it's just bad plan.
Yeah.
I just think it's just the worst thing you can do. Go to the pub with them. Go to the pub, order a side of chips, order Coke with ice and lemon, and laugh. If they see something, laugh. Ha, 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 ha. Laugh. Socially, the show pony is social.
Yeah.
She's showing up.
Plays the game.
Yeah, she's playing the game because it is a game. It's a game. You need to play the game if you want to win.
Absolutely.
And then you will always see the people who people are jealous of, but they put the work into it. It doesn't look like it because you're just like, oh, she just coasts through. Everybody's just thinking about, because these things happen like domino effect. Because the show pony has put the work in. When she gets one opportunity and she does well in it, which she inevitably will do, another person will say, oh, because I saw you on that campaign for work, can you be on this campaign? And then you're like, oh, her face is everywhere. She's doing
She's shown that she can, literally.
Yeah. It's called being a show pony. And she's doing it.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. And they get paid well. They get paid well and they can demand more. And they can say, hey, my value transcends my 9 to 5.
Yes, that is it.
My value transcends my 9 to 5. And they show ponies inside of work and outside of work. They also show ponies in their career. LinkedIn knows who they are.
Yes.
They're calling them for seminars. They're calling them for speaking engagement, but they put the work into it mentally, socially, and physically. And they look nice. They actually care about their appearance when they go to work. They actually care. That's a show pony.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting because in the social media era, we're seeing a shift from just influencers to actual professionals becoming influencers.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of people that I follow who are lawyers, accountants, all of that. And they are literally giving really good advice on social media. And again, I think it's that show pony effect as well, because it's like now my value isn't necessarily linked to a 9 to 5. I could literally quit my 9 to 5 today and still be very relevant as an accountant.
Very, very successful. We're in the age of the portfolio career.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're in the age of the portfolio career because also there's so many things that will come in and replace the human being.
Yeah.
So people have to now include your strengths have to include the things that ChatGPT can't do. The human connection. So everybody who has done their career without needing to connect with people, I just go in and do my job and I don't turn the camera on because I don't need to turn the camera on. Why do I? No problem. Thank you. No problem.
You're leaving stuff on the table, money on the table.
Yeah. Now ChatGPT can do what you're doing. The thing that distinguished you from the bots and the machines is your face and the connection and the thing. Just like, oh yeah, and I caught up with Fumbi at lunch yesterday, and she's just so great. And beyond what she does, she just brings so much to the team. Yeah. So we're in the age of the portfolio career because there are many things in the next 10 years. There are many things that can take over our jobs. Yeah. So we need to lean into the thing that ChatGPT and the others can't do. And that's connection, the human connection.
You speak a lot about executive presence, and I don't know if you guys can see, there is a ton of executive presence here today. I know there's this debate about whether you just have it or whether you can develop it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think it can be developed if someone doesn't just have it?
I think the leaders are born and made.
Okay, same thing, yeah.
So you can develop it. Anything that someone else is doing, you probably can.
Yeah.
You just need to go through the rigorous training that they went through. When you see someone on stage and you want to be them, don't worry about the 5 minutes that you've seen them on stage for. Think about the 30 minutes, the 30 hours that you can have executive presence. I actually went into a series and I broke down, this is what executive presence is. This is what it means. Your appearance, how you speak, and how you logically, cognitively have conversations. Your brilliance, which is very different from your intelligence. Your brilliance and your intelligence are not the same thing. Your intelligence is what Fumbi studied at school. So, and she was great. And then we got a first class. Oh my God, But then she had to work on that. So now, how do you communicate your intellect? That's where Fumbi's brilliance shines. How she's communicating the intellect. This is a good example. When we were at university and our lecturers would teach us things, and we'd think, yeah, great, thanks for taking the time. But then we'd end up on YouTube and there's some Indian uncle on YouTube who's teaching us the same thing and we understand it. Yeah. Sorry, do you know what I'm talking about? And there's some guy in India and he's teaching us, especially for those of us who study economics. Like your teacher would teach you something and you're like, what are you talking about? And then you go onto YouTube and there's some uncle from in India teaching us the same thing and we're like, oh, thank goodness. And he's breaking it down for us. The same two people, intelligent. One has some sort of brilliance. He's throwing in analogies and allegories and animations and we're like, oh my God, you're bringing this entire thing alive for me. This is fantastic. One person's brilliant.
Yeah.
One person's intelligent. It's good to be intelligent. It's great to be intelligent and brilliant. Try that.
Absolutely.
Immaculate.
So we're going to go into love and relationships. Just one question
Ooh.
on it, because often women in like leadership or women that are doing really, really well for themselves are often sometimes told that, you know, you might not be able to find a man to like match that, or you might have to settle and things like that. What has been your experience in finding love, or love finding you rather?
I have very controversial advice. So
Ooh.
I'm not gonna set Fabi's podcast on fire.
No, go for it. Go on.
Before I got married, before I got this engagement ring, I had 2 others before. I've been proposed to twice.
Wow.
before my husband proposed to me. So I say that if you want to be married tomorrow, you can be married tomorrow. That's my own thing. If today you're just like, hey, in 4 months I want to be married, you're gonna be married in 4 months.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I don't think it's hard at all. I don't think it's hard at all. Like, for me, let's not go down this road.
But it's
this
finding
is not
the right
a road
person.
to go. Yes, it's finding the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It's finding the right person, because I gave all the other rings back and they were like, hey, are you gonna marry me? I was like, hey, do you want to know what? No, thank you. I'm Ibo, so we do introductions. I had one introduction planned and I cancelled it a week before, and there was another one. The person was going to fly down, and I was just like, no, we're good. Thank you so much. I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's hard. The right person, finding the right person, just make a... Do you know what you want? Do you actually know what you want? Let me simplify it. When you're going into uni, say 18-year-old Fimbi. 18-year-old Fimbi wants to go to Oxford. Okay? That's her starting point. She says, I want to go to university in Oxford. Or rather, one step back, we're reverse engineering how to end up where you want to end up.
Yeah.
What does Femi want to study? What does she want her life to be like? I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a successful lawyer. Okay, where can I get the best education in law? It's Oxford. In the UK, it's Oxford. I'm going to go to Oxford Law. Steps. And now I'm going to find out what Oxford Law wants from me, and I'm going to go be that for Oxford Law, so that when I approach Oxford Law, Oxford's going to go, ooh, you're the person we've been waiting for. And then I'm going to have a life of Oxford. That's how I see you should do it. Now, if I translate it into the men speak, all the girls are going to say I'm a pick me.
Say it.
I don't.
No, we need to hear it.
Hey, people, hey. Don't insult me. My husband's going to come for you. You start with, how do I want my life to look?
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is how I want my life to look. Which man being partnered with, for the women who want to be married? This is only for women who want to be married. Okay? Thank you very much. Which man would I need to be with in order to have this life I want? And then you find out what those type of men want from you, and you be that for those type of men specifically. That's it.
Yeah.
I think it's literally, I'm so sorry to have simplified it to the point where it's like, oh, that's an oversimplification. But really and truly, if it applies to everything else, why would it not apply here?
Yeah.
And if you can become what Oxford wants you to be so that you can get into Oxford, what's more important? Hey, and everyone's going to have a different answer. What's more important? Getting into Oxford Law or the husband that you're going to be with? Someone's going to say Oxford Law. That's fine. But if you can be who Oxford is asking you to be so that you can get into Oxford, why can't you find out who a specific genre? The problem is trying to please every man on the street. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's very problematic. You will go crazy. But when you find this is the exact caliber. It is one square on the many squares on the chessboard, and it's this specific square that I want to be in. I'm going to find out what this specific square wants from me, and I'm going to be that. You want to know why? Because I want to be with you. So I'm going to be who you need me to be in order to be with you. I think it's that simple. I can't lie. I think it's that simple. And now whatever that sounds like to someone else, I can't help you. But I think it's that simple. And it sounds oversimplified, but you want to know what? Most things in life are simple. They're just not easy.
Yeah. I think it's important to note that 2 things can be true.
Yeah.
So even though you're saying be that for that person, that's assuming that you've already kind of agreed with God the kind of life you want.
Yes.
You've agreed with God that, okay, this is the good kind of guy to
and that's
go
where
for.
You start from. What life should I be living? What should my life look like in 10 years?
Yeah.
In 20 years, what should my life look like? What type of partnership would I need to have in order to have that life?
Yeah.
It's called reverse engineering, and I do it in everything. At work, I do it at board level, I do it at executive level, I do it in my house. I say, how do I want the soup to turn out? This egusi soup has been bombing lately. How do I get it to work? We reverse engineer everything. We start from here. This is the life I want to live because God said so. I tend to remove that because to me it's like a no brain. Like why are you living that if you're not? This is the life I want to live. This is the partner, because the partner that you're with will determine. If you're married and you marry the wrong person, I'm so sorry, because it will bomb everything else. So the partner that you're with will determine a massive part of your life trajectory. What partner do I need to be with in order to get this life? Where do I find these partners? What do these partners want from me? Can I be this person? And do you want to know what? If the price of admission is too high for you, that's fine. Pick someone else.
Yeah. And to be honest, the man is probably doing that as well.
As he should be.
Yep.
As he should be. It should be happening parallel. This person should be doing it. This person should be doing it in order to converge in the middle. Yeah. And I say just chug along with your life, and whoever it is that you meet whilst you're chugging along, then do that. When my husband met me, I was already a NED, like a non-executive director. I was already a manager. And we just chug along. And I say met me. We met at 3 years old. I mean when we got married.
Yes.
Yeah. I met him when I was 3 years old.
And although it may sound to some people like a pick-me thing, the reality is a marriage is just two people serving each other. So it really is literally you thinking, what does this person want and how can I best serve them? So if that's pick-me, that's actually biblical.
Hey, I don't give marriage advice, bro. Yes. I don't give marriage advice. I just got here. I'm just figuring out what I'm doing. I don't even know what's going on in the institution of marriage. I don't give marriage advice. Go ask your mom. That's what I say to everybody. Whenever someone asks me for marriage advice, I say, is your mom alive? Go ask her.
What daily habits do you do to ensure that you're living a fruitful life?
Ooh, I pray. I make sure I move around. I'm on an extra weight loss journey right now. I'm trying to be hot.
Girl, I'm on the same journey.
Okay, I just want to be sizzling hot. Yeah. So I'm trying to get fitter, move around, and when it's hot, I move around in my house on the Wii. We have a Wii, so we play tennis on the Wii. I pray. I eat healthy. My husband recently banned sugar in our house again. He did it before, and then I sneakily inserted sugar into the house, and then he's like, "Wow, there's so much sugar in the house again. How did we get here? Let's start afresh." Yeah. Just pray and be healthy. I think that both of them, and I read every day. Every day I read every day. It will expand your mind. When you can't like go to Bali next week and then go to New York the week after that, like reading a book takes you so many places that you've never been before. I'm just finishing off Indra Nooyi's autobiography, and she's talking about her job when she was in Chicago and talking about, you know, the streets, and I was driving down this, and I'm in a different world, but I'm in my living room. Read a book, girl. It'll take you on an adventure that you didn't have to pay for. I mean, you probably paid £10 for the book, but you get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you like organize your life? Are you someone who likes to write things down? Is it all in your head? Is it digital or paper? What kind of like planning tips do you kind of use in your life?
People organize my life. My manager, my husband, my sister, they organize my life. I'm not, these are not my strengths. Those are not my strengths. I lean into my strength. Yeah. Those are not my strengths. And I don't fight when I find that something is not my strength. Like the calendaring and everything. My manager told me, this is the time somebody needs you to be in London. This is the time I'm going to pick you up at this time. Be ready. And I said, okay. Yeah. And this morning, my husband woke me up and said, didn't she say you need to be up at 8 o'clock? And I said, yes, sir. Like people help me. And that's another pillar in the problem solving tool. People. Lean into people. Yeah. You want to solve problems, you want to fix things, lean into people. Learn how to ask people for help. And there are different types of people that solve different problems. So people are a massive tool for solving problems. So how do I organize my life? I have a manager, I have a husband, and I have a sister who calls me on the phone and insults me from time to time and go, why are you doing this? This is my older sister. So I think that's kind of their job, to just like call you on the phone and just tell you stuff and just tell you off.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. That's good. Yeah. Leaning into your strengths and knowing like, if this is my weakness, someone else can kind of pick up with the strength. Because it's true. There's so many people who are really good with the whole planning thing. Yeah. And if you can get people to help you, why not? It's not a bad thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I have a question that...
How do you organize your life?
Planners. I like to write things down. So I will always write things down. So sometimes I'll use a planner. Sometimes I'll use my Google Calendar. Everything goes into my Google Calendar.
Have you seen the productivity journal? What was her name? Beverly?
Grace Beverly, yeah. I've seen it. I've got the business one.
I've seen it everywhere. I've never tried it. Does it work?
I've got the business one. So she's got this system of quick ticks, projects, and something else. So she categorizes it in terms of time. So if something takes a long time to do, then it's a project, and you like schedule it into your day. If it's a quick tick, you just put it on your to-do list. And I think it's a really good... Yes, I think it's a good system. I only use that one for the business one. Then we have our own planner, which literally has a to-do list and a schedule. Oh, and you just like build up your day that way.
You have your own planner?
Yeah, Fruitful Life Planner.
I want a Fruitful Life
Do
planner.
you know what? I was actually meant to bring one for you today,
Oh my
but
gosh.
with all the rush, but I'll send it to you.
Yay!
I will send it to you. So yeah. I just like to write things down. That really helps me to like just get it out of my head. I think when things are in my head, I always feel really, really stressed.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's on paper and I know what I'm doing, I love a to-do list. If I can tick it off, it gives me a dopamine hit, literally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. I have one question. If I'm allowed to ask a
Yes,
question
of
on this
course.
podcast, you asked me about like love and relationship. Why don't you give us a love and relationship? The things that have worked, why did they work? And the things
Or
that
not
didn't
worked.
work, or the things that didn't work, why didn't they work?
Okay, do you know what? I think it's important not to settle.
Okay.
I think that's very, very important. In my last relationship, I remember someone asked, if you could marry this person right now and they couldn't change anything about them, would you still marry them?
That's a good
And
question.
for me, my answer was no, because there were still things that I was waiting on to change.
Okay.
And if that had changed, it would make them the perfect candidate,
Yes.
but it hadn't changed. And it's like, well, that means you're sitting in a relationship basically wanting to change them. And that's not fair on them. And it's not fair on yourself, because if they never change, what's gonna, like, do you know what I mean? What's gonna happen? So I think it's important to know what you can live with and what you can't live with, and the things that you can live with. And obviously that means like not necessarily negative things, but things that aren't necessarily the best, because no one's human.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
no one's perfect.
Absolutely.
Rather. Everyone's human. And I think that that's really key. So knowing the difference between what you can live with and what you can't.
I think that's fair. My mum once said that getting married is picking a list of problems that you can live with without having a headache.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's very negative. But now life, that's the reality of things. And a guy once asked me, he was just like, oh, I want to be with you. And I was just like, oh, I have about 10 things I'd change about you if I had to. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll be your project. And I said,
no.
I'm good, Chief.
No.
I'm good, Chief.
That's
I got
the
a
most
full-time
difficult
job.
project. Yeah,
I got a full-time job already. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No.
And I think as women as well, we love a project. Like, why?
I keep hearing this, and I keep trying to find out where the women are. Which women like a project? Because all of my friends, are you guys just lazy? All my friends just lazy because nobody likes a project around me. Like, no, thank you, ma'am. And I completely agree with you about the not settling. Yeah. When I was telling my friends, my husband was sending me flowers from Canada, flowers and handwritten notes from Canada. And like I would say, oh my God, I got this. And it's like, oh, but isn't he in Calgary? Yeah, that's where it came from.
Wow.
And so I realized that, if someone's telling me that they can't get just one, I'm saying one stem of rose. If you can't get one stem of rose from the guy who lives 3 doors down.
Yeah.
I'm all right, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm all right, thanks, love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, especially as women, you feel that like urge to like rush. And so especially when everything else is good in your life.
Yes.
You've got the house, you've got the car, you've got the career, you've got the business.
They're trying to close
and it's
the
just
circle.
that, it's just that one thing. So sometimes it does kind of force you to want to settle, because you think, I just need that one thing to complete the circle. But actually, that one thing can have a big impact on the rest of the things.
Ma'am.
That thing will have you be stressed.
Yes, ma'am.
You won't be able to work properly, your business, you'll just leave it on the side. And it's just that, is it really worth it if someone's going to drain you? So I think my advice to like successful women who want to be fruitful is, don't be with someone that's just gonna take all the nutrients out of your soil and steal all your fruit.
Oh my God.
Literally.
I used to watch, I don't know if you know her, Dr. Kanayo.
Yes. I do know her.
When I was like my teens to my 20s, I used to like follow her on social media. And at this point, she followed me back on Instagram, BFF.
Yeah.
I've never really met her in person, but that was one of my favorite things about her. She was just chugging along in life, and it was just, I just noticed how she was just content until she met her husband, and they're one of my favorite people to just watch. Like, she's not like out here making like content or anything, but I just, every time I come across her on social media, I'm just like, I remember when she was single and happily single, and I just remember that, and I like that she showed us that. I just appreciate that she showed us that, and I think I feel the same way in the short space that I've like investigated you a little bit, because I have to do that before I come on the podcast. I just love how, also, you have a law background, and I love that. And everybody in my family is a lawyer because we're boring.
Yeah.
And I just love how you'll have a career, you're happy with your career, and you give me this very content vibe. And I was saying, I was just like, what do you think about Femi? We're going to see Femi today. Does she strike you as content? That's such a weird thing to say. That's all I had. I was like, she strikes me as someone who's content. I don't know, man. I might come here and find out actually Femi, as a matter of fact, is not content. But that's that's
Yeah,
how
I
I
think I
felt.
am. I think
Like,
I've
yeah.
reached a place where I'm like, okay, whatever God wants,
Yeah.
let's roll with it. Like, it is what it is. He's not failed me yet. And do you know what it is? I think back to things that when I was younger that I really, really wanted. Like, there was a time where I was applying for training contracts and I
Mhm.
wasn't getting one. I
Mhm.
was going to assessment days. They were frazzling my
Yep.
brain and I wasn't getting any offers. And it's like, now I'm 6 years post qualification.
Yep.
And it's like, or when I wanted to like pass my driving test and I was like, oh my God, when am I going to pass my driving test? And now I've been driving for over 10 years. And it's like the things that you seem so desperately, that you so desperately want,
Yeah.
eventually you'll get them. And
You'll
it'll be
get them.
like,
Yeah. And then it'll just be something else that
yeah,
you have that you're going for.
exactly. So it's important to be content
Yeah.
with the now and enjoy
Absolutely.
the presence. Like, even when I think about like marriage and things like that, obviously there's things in there that's like advantageous that will add
Yes.
to your life.
Yeah.
But equally there's other things that make it more
You're
difficult. Like when you have
enjoying.
kids and stuff like that, you're not going to have the same
Yes,
time and
ma'am.
energy that you have now.
Yes,
So I'm
ma'am.
like, okay, the time and energy that I have now, the fact that I can wake up on a Saturday morning and I haven't got a little kid like screaming at me for
Mhm.
milk, I'm happy with that.
Yes.
I'm happy
Yeah.
with that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's important to be content in any season that you're in, because when
Love
you're in the
that.
next season, there's things about your past season that you're going to miss.
Yes.
So
Work while it's day. Like, that's what
yes,
I say. Yeah,
exactly.
work while it's day. Someone recently asked me, "Oh, why do you do so much?" And I said, because I have the energy to do it.
Yeah.
And he was so shocked. Like, he was doing a profile, bless his heart,
Mm.
and he was waiting for this like phenomenal answer. And I said, because
Mm.
I have the energy to do it right now.
Yeah.
In 10 years' time, I probably won't have this energy. So I have the energy to do it now. So I'm doing it right now. Bless him. He just looks and he was thinking, so easy to give me something philosophical. Something you're talking nonsense. But that's the
It's
truth.
true.
That's the truth. I have the energy to do it right now.
Yeah.
I'm a young woman. I have the time. I have the resource. I don't have a baby attached to my hip yet. I have the energy to do it now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing all of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100% agree. Lovely. So on my stories yesterday, I asked people, I said, I'm speaking to this amazing woman who is killing it in her career. Have you got any questions for her? Okay, so this person has asked, what are your tips on how to pivot in your career without demotion or a pay cut?
Oh, I have a video on this. Find the similar skills. If you work in compliance, because I did compliance. If you work in compliance and you're trying to go from doing compliance in NHS to doing compliance in tech, find similar roles. So there's a compliance analyst in NHS. Find compliance analyst in tech, start there, and then keep chugging along, because the basic skills will be the same. So if you want to pivot from anything to tech, find a similar role in that thing that you're doing, and ideally it would probably be at the same level. So if you're a compliance manager in NHS, you would probably be a compliance manager in tech. So just go lateral. Take those skills that are working for you here. The qualifications would be different and all of the certifications and everything will be different. That's fine. Sell yourself. And I've hired someone when I was a senior manager. I hired someone and I was working in energy, and she was moving into energy from tech, and she was going to join my team as an analyst, and she was an analyst somewhere else. And so she just moved. You're an analyst. You have the basics. Are you willing to do this qualification? Yeah. Are you guys going to pay for it? Sure. If we pay for it, you'll have to commit to 2 years, or you're going to have to pay back. Cool. Next. Great. She joined my team. So find the lateral move and move at the lateral point. And then if you want to chug along, then chug along that way. And then I explained this deeper in a video. Sorry.
Amazing. We'll put all your details like in the description box so
Thank
people
you.
can find it. Literally, I was like, you need a notebook to be listening to you on TikTok. Honestly, it's like there's so much value there. We have a custom where we'll ask you to give advice to someone who's on the other side of the camera, who's maybe a few steps behind you, younger than you. What advice would you give to them in terms of navigating the corporate space? And you can speak directly to the camera for this.
Oh, pick one skill and become an expert at that one skill. And I'm not telling you to pick one niche or one sector, because that's harder. But if you pick one skill, the reason why I'm saying skill is because skills transfer. Okay? So focus. If you can pick one skill, become an expert at that skill, you will be wildly successful. My thing is solving problems. Problem solving is needed in the home front, at work, it's needed in tech and finance, in the NHS, it's needed everywhere, it's needed at board level. If you pick one skill, if your thing is communication, you will be wildly successful. If your thing is
Negotiating.
sales, negotiation, pick one skill, become an expert at that skill, you can take that skill and you can be anywhere. You can become a public speaker with it. You can become an author with it. You can start a podcast with it. Pick one skill. Be so freaking damn good at that skill. You will be wildly successful. And I say that as a statement of fact because it is.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Glad.
Thank you for the work that you do. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Yay.
So that ends the episode. If you want to know more about Sharon's content, her details will be in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Give us a like and tell us what you found most valuable about this episode in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.